What's up guys, Penguin Overlord here, and welcome back to Ghost Recon Wildlands. Again, I'm sorry for the delay in serious content, it's just life's been busy for a bit. But I'm back on track and I do intend to crank some videos out before September. With everything going on in September, I'll do a video on that. Anyway, this video we're going to be talking about shotguns, how I set them up, and how I use them in Ghost Recon Wildlands. So I'm just going to go over shotgun setups for several of the shotguns because it's a little bit different um, than with like assault rifles and submachine guns and things like that, because each shotgun kind of has their own. Every customizable shotgun's got their own individual setup. Like the M4 Super 90's got different attachments, the ACS-12, all these shotguns. I'm not going to really cover the Super Shorty because it's basically useless. Like, it's got a very limited range, so we won't talk about that. So let's get into talking about how I set up my shotguns real quick, and then we'll go into all the whys and details and stuff. So for the SASG-12, I'll run the EXPS3 optic, triggers, whatever. Large magazine, 30 rounds, the Foregrip B4, standard barrel, and the Compensator. For the SPAS 12, I will run the extended buttstock, the extended 8-tube magazine, not the 5, the short barrel, and the Compensator. And that's going to be kind of a theme. I generally run shotguns with compensators unless I'm doing something different. Same kind of deal with the M4 Super 90, only this one can accept optics, so I'm running the EXPS3 scope. And for the ACS-12, I've got the EXPS3 scope, the 20-round magazine, Foregrip B4, standard barrel, and Compensator. So that's typically what I will run on my shotguns. Now, the thing you need to understand about shotguns in Wildlands is that they have a very limited range, which I'm sure by now you've all experienced. They typically have a range of around 50 to 60 meters, depending on barrel length, maybe some under-barrel attachments like the shift short-angled grip. I mean, there's some shotguns like the Wilderness that I've been able to hit out to 70 meters, and obviously there's the glitched, if I can find it, El Quinista, fuck it, I'm not pronouncing it. But yeah, this is a glitched gun. It can hit out very far, like out to like I think 120 meters or so. Other people have done videos on about it, so I'm not gonna really cover it here. But that's the thing. They kind of have a limited role because they can only hit out to 50 to 60 meters, and they're only really, especially if effective, within half that distance. So around 0 to 30 meters, that's when you're going to get all the pellets on target and get one-shot or two-shot kills. So not super useful in the main game unless you're luring enemies closer to you or really getting up in their face as part of your combat style. And that's also kind of hard to do because once they're out of range, you're basically just shooting pellets into the void and not actually hitting anything. And it's very common for enemies to be just out of range. So I will typically use shotguns only for a couple of different missions. One, the comms tower sort of missions where you have to like breach a building and get inside and hack the Santa Blanca's communications, because all the enemies will be within range of the shotgun and it'll be devastatingly effective. I'll also typically use it for Operation Archangel inside the Chemical Institute because, again, you're indoors, limited range, where you'll actually be engaging enemies, so it'll be effective. And also for the first mission in Operation Oracle when you're inside that Unidad base. I suppose it could also be useful for Operation Watchman when you're defending the building from incoming Unidad. But I typically don't use that. I'll use like an LMG or something, just because of ammo concerns, really. Let's go into why I've got these shotguns set up loud. So let's actually take a look at the SASG-12, and we'll go over why I use the particular attachments. So with the EXPS3, I find that this is the easiest sort of reticle to track under recoil. I don't typically lose it. I lose sight of the reticle when under sustained fire, like the T1 or the panoramic sight or any of the other sights. The XPS3, I just have an easier time of keeping track of the reticle and aiming accurately. That's not to say that you can't use these. I actually used the T1 for a while, but that's just kind of my personal preference. You can use whatever you want. Now for the magazine, I typically run the largest magazine I can on shotguns, simply because they already have low amounts of ammo, typically, with them, so you really want to have as much ammo as possible on you, because the last thing you want is to get caught on a reload, and you're reloading, and you have a dual-wielding Uzi Santa Blanca sniper rushing up to you and just nailing you, especially on extreme difficulty. It's really not a situation you want you find yourself to be in. The Foregrip V4 is what I'll typically use on automatic shotguns like the SASG-12 and the ACS-12. So here's the thing. The angled grips may give you a slight bonus to accuracy, maybe, and increase range a little bit. I did test it a while back, and I found it not completely conclusive, but it seemed to be the case where it would add like an extra couple meters to your range. But the problem is you're slowing down the gun a lot in combat. Like, you see that ADS time? Like, granted, I'm using a 30-round magazine too, but it's really, really slow. And it's just not something you want to use in close range. So I typically use the Foregrip B4 to maximize handling and get that ADS speed up, which is again going to be essential if you're going to run the largest magazine possible, which on the SASG-12 it's 30 rounds, so it's a lot of ammo to keep on your person. With the ACS-12, it's a little bit better with the handling. Had a shadow there for a second. It's a little bit better. It's much faster handling, which is why I really like this shotgun. And but yeah, you definitely want the Foregrip V4 on your shotgun. Standard barrel. There's no reason ever to use a long barrel on a shotgun. The slight increase in range you may get, which is like a couple of meters, like maybe like 5 meters or so, it's generally not worth the handling loss you're going to get. The damage, accuracy, they're not significant, really, bonuses as to how effective the gun can be. So I really don't recommend running the long barrel. I'll actually use... let me go up to the M4 Super 90. I'll actually use the shortest barrel possible on a shotgun. So in this case, it will be the short barrel on the M4 Super 90. So that way I can get maximum handling and have a fast handling gun into combat. So that's what I'll typically use. Just use the shortest barrel possible on your shotgun and run it loud, which is why I have the Compensator. Now, you can run a suppressor. You could, absolutely. In fact, I do for, like, when I used to do challenges regularly. When the shotgun challenges came up, I would use a suppressed shotgun and a suppressed compensated shot, an unsuppressed compensated shotgun, excuse me. But that was just for the sake of the challenge. For normal gameplay, I really do recommend the Compensator, because with a suppressed shotgun, there's no real benefit you're getting to it with it being suppressed, and you're losing a bunch of accuracy as well, so that's not good. And it's not really all that useful, because in this game, stealth kills are one-shot hit kills, so when you're undetected, so you're way better off using a pistol, not necessarily the Luger I have with you, but like a suppressed pistol like this, Marsoc 1911, you're better off using that for close-range stealth kills than a suppressed shotgun. Now, for tube-fed shotguns, I'll typically run the extended 8-round magazine. I just wanted to clear that up before I end the video. Like, again, you want as much ammo as possible on a shotgun. It's really going to be better for you. Let me go equip that real quick. Because with 5 rounds, you'll just run out of ammo too quickly, and you'll be caught in a reload, and it just won't be good for you. Enemies can easily kill you. So definitely have as much ammo as you can, and after you've done killing an enemy, like, immediately top off. Like, if you fire 3 shots, top off the gun immediately, so that way you can get back into the fight. Basically, if you're going to use like the Spaz 12 with the M4 Super 90, you basically want to be almost constantly reloading it when you're not shooting it. Just that way, because if you empty this whole tube in combat, it will just it's just going to be a very long reload time, and you really don't want that. So I'll actually, whenever I use a shotgun, unless I'm doing, like, again, a shotgun challenge, I'll use a fully auto shotgun like the ACS-12 or the M4 or the SASG-12 as my loud gun, and then I'll use the a tube-fed gun as my suppressed shotguns. That way I don't have to worry about reloading that tube in combat. But anyway, yeah, that's about it, guys. More videos to come, obviously, but this is just my shotgun setup and deployment video, how I use them in Wildlands. I hope you found this video interesting or helpful. Leave a like if you did, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I'm Penguin Overlord, and I'll catch you all next time. Take care, guys.